Oh, I can specifically tell you what I'm looking at, and the board of law examiners is who sent me over to you guys. I also have a question into the city. It was an out-of-state law firm called Jones Day that did contracts with Minneapolis. Some of their lawyers aren't listed as being licensed in Minnesota, so I was just reaching out to see if there's an exception to lawyers having to be licensed if they're providing services like that to a municipality, or what the rules are surrounding that. I've looked up the rules, and it seems like there's a possibly an exception, and I just want to make sure that I'm not assuming things.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I guess you want. I can't. So I can't tell you like the way our office works. Like if you've got an attorney who's got a specific situation that they want a rule interpretation, then that attorney would, generally need to contact our office to get an advisory opinion. So I'm not going to be able to tell you, is this person that does the exception fit this person's situation or
But
not?
there isn't. All I'm looking for is there an exception or is there not? And if so, like what types of instances would it apply? That's all I'm trying to get because nobody's been able to
Okay.
tell me that so far.
Okay. So if you're looking, so you should be looking at the, Minnesota Rules of Professional Conduct. So that's what governs, you know, lawyers in the state. Um, what is it that you were looking at as far as a rule that you thought there would be an exception? Is that where
um,
you were looking?
Give me 1 second. Let me pull it back up real quick. Okay. I looked up the rules on the law examiner's website, and then I believe on yours as well. Let me see real quick here.
Yep. Yep.
The Minnesota statutes are down right now because the reviser's revising them. But
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah. So I mean, the specific rule that governs, unauthorized practice of law is Rule 5.5, and then so that rule has, um, you know, what lawyers can and can't do, what the exceptions are, and so, you know, under like I was kind of saying, under certain circumstances, we can't say, well, you know,
oh yeah, and I'm
we
not
can't
looking
say
for
this is
an
yeah,
interpretation of this exact situation.
yeah.
I'm scrolling down to see. 1 second here. Okay, let me look. Find 5.5.
So you can certainly. I think that's where you want to look.
Okay, yeah. 1 second here. Yeah, when I was looking through there earlier, it showed that there was some exceptions, and so I was just trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure that
Yep.
out.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, so
Yep.
multi,
There are.
so the exceptions are, uh, sorry. So the question I had on the exceptions is that it's an instance where they're not actually doing a case trial, and I wasn't sure if there's a lawyer that is licensed in Minnesota that's part of their group, can they work underneath that person's license advising them? That was basically the two questions that I had on that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if they're not doing actual work product, does that make sense?
Right. Right. So I think if you look at the exceptions, you will see that that situation is addressed in here.
Okay. Um, so for the temporary basis, how do you guys determine that? Um, I'm just wondering, and or for somebody from another jurisdiction to be able to practice here. Um, okay, well, I guess that's pretty much
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess if there's a are these lawyers that you're working with that you're trying to? I
Oh
mean, what's your?
no, truthfully, I was just looking into the contract that Jones Day had with Minneapolis, and I was bored and pulled up these guys registered in Minnesota because they had a list of them there, and there was like one or two that were and a whole bunch that weren't, and so I'm just trying to figure out then
Right.
should they have registered
Yeah.
because the city sort of paid $500,000 a year. They did a lot of pro bono work, but they paid $500,000 a year for 2 years, so that's a lot of money. And if you're charging $700 an hour for services and you're the lead person, you should probably register. That'd be my guess, but I'm not trying to make assumptions. I'm trying to get the facts so that way I'm not jumping to conclusions. Does that make sense?
Sure. I mean, and there's yeah, and there's I mean, there's you know, if you feel like there's some misconduct there, obviously, you could file a complaint with our office, and
I definitely will. I'm waiting on word back from the city attorney's office on whether or not they think that there's an exception. I just wasn't sure if like the exceptions are kept on file with you guys or if it's just something that they do and then ask for forgiveness later, or if it's supposed to be like with doctors where they're supposed to like get permission ahead of time. That's it. 'Cause-
yeah, I mean, as far as whether or not there's a violation, yeah, I mean, they can they can call our office and ask for an advisory opinion if they're concerned about it. Like, in this situation, do I need to
Is it
register as an attorney in
is that
Minnesota? But that wouldn't be something that would be publicly available. That's just if we give someone an advisory opinion, it's just for their.
is that prior to the start of services or is that at any time during the services? That's my only question on
I
that.
mean, it should be. It has to be. So it has to be.
It's just,
It has to be for you, and it has to be something. Yeah, it has to be something that's
Yeah.
not already done. Not already done.
Good to go.
In order to get in order to get an advisory opinion.
Okay.
Other than that, I mean, it's not like there's something on file, So if there's a concern that somebody raises or somebody files a complaint, then we, would look at a situation to see whether or not, there's a potential rule violation, and then whether or not discipline would be warranted.
Okay, that's all I had. Truthfully, I'm just trying to get the facts, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't reading that too crazily. That there are some exceptions, and so I'll just wait to hear
Yes.
back from them. Because
Yes, there are.
that's the only thing is some people thought that there wasn't, and I'm like, oh no, I'm pretty sure there is. So let me just double check on this,
Yeah.
so I'm not making a mountain out of a molehill.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you very much. You have a good day.
You're welcome. You too.
Bye bye.